pictures hanging on your walls. I like it when you do it, when you shake it all off. Like it when you say my name right there. I like it when you whisper it in my ear. So if my love is something you can work with, then go ahead and earn it, you deserve it. You know that I've been trying so hard to come into your tribe and make it this far. I can speak your language, but I'm trying to understand just what you're trying to say. I'm not trying to change you now, like the way you sing the song. Dancing in the times where you came from. Take a second, I can still thank God. Know that I've been patient so long. Girl, I need you pressing me on my why. So I'ma sing a prayer for that body right now. So I'ma sing a prayer for that body right now. So I'ma sing a prayer for that body right now. So I'ma sing a prayer for that body right now. Put the work in, I know. Keep it tight when I'm gone. Every time I run it out, you know where to find me. So if my love is something you can work with, then go ahead and earn it, you deserve it. You know that I've been trying so hard to come into your tribe and make it this far. I can speak your language, but I'm trying to understand just what you're trying to say. I'm not trying to change you now, like the way you sing the song. Dancing in the times where you came from. Every second I can still thank God. Know that I've been patient so long. Girl, I need you pressing me on my why. So I'ma sing a prayer for that body right now. So I'ma sing a prayer for that body right now. So I'ma sing a prayer for that body right now. So I'ma sing a prayer for that body right now. So if my love is something you can work with.
Never need a bitch, I'm what a bitch need. Tryna find the one that can fix me. I've been dodging death in the 6-speed. Amphetamine got my stomach feeling sickly. I want it all now. I've been running through the pussy, need a dog pound. 100 models getting faded in a compound. Tryna love me, but they never get a pulse down. Cause I'm heartless, and I'm back to my ways, cause I'm heartless. All this money and this pain got me heartless. More life, cause I'm heartless. Said I'm heartless, tryna be a better man, but I'm heartless. Never be a wedding plan, but I'm heartless. No life, cause I'm heartless. Said I'm heartless, so much pussy be falling out the pocket. Metro Boomin turn this hoe into a mosh pit. Tesla bill got me flying like a cockpit. Yeah, I gotta watch it. Call me up, turn that pussy to a faucet. Duffel bag full of drugs and a rocket. Sticks drunk, but he never miss a target. Photo shoots, I'm a star now. I'm talking time, rolling zone and bazaar now. Selling dreams to these girls with they guard down. 7 years I've been swimming with the sharks now. Cause I'm heartless, and I'm back to my ways, cause I'm heartless. All this money and this pain got me heartless. More life, cause I'm heartless. Said I'm heartless, tryna be a better man, but I'm heartless. Never be a wedding plan, but I'm heartless. No life, cause I'm heartless. I lost my heart and my mind. saw the fire in your eyes. I saw the fire when I look into your eyes. You tell me things you wanna try. I know temptation is the devil in disguise. You risk it all to feel alive, yeah. You're offering yourself to me like sacrifice. You said you do this all the time. Tell me you love me if I bring you to the light. It's like a dream, what she feels with me. She loves to be on the edge. Her fantasy is okay with me. Then suddenly, baby says, take my breath away and make it last forever, babe. Do it now or never, babe. Take my breath away. Nobody does it better, babe. Bring me closer. Want me to hold on to you tight. Yeah, pull me close. I feel the heat between your thighs. You're way too young to end your life. Girl, I don't wanna be the one who pays the price. Ooh, it's like a dream, what she feels with me. She loves to be on the edge. Her fantasy is okay with me. Then suddenly, baby says, take my breath away and make it last forever, babe. Do it now or never, babe. Take my breath away. Nobody does it better, babe. Bring me closer, heaven, babe. Take my breath. Oh, oh, and I'm serious. Take my breath away and make it last forever, babe. Do it now or never, babe. Take my breath away. Nobody does it better, babe. Bring me closer, heaven, babe. Take my breath take my breath. Nobody does it better, babe. Bring me closer, heaven, babe. Take my breath. I've been trying to call. I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you can show me how to love. Maybe I'm going through a drought. You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me on with just a touch, baby. I look around since city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I just, hey, hey, hey. I'm running out of time, 'cause I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road in overdrive, baby. Oh, put you in the worst mood. P1 cleaner than your church shoes. Really point to just to hurt you. All red lamb just to tease you. None of these toys on lease to. Made your whole year in a week too. Yeah, main bitch out of your league too. Side bitch out of your league too. House so empty, need a centerpiece. 20 racks a table come from ebony. Cut that ever into skinny pieces. Then she clean up with her face when I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see a shade. Switch on my style, I take any lane. Switch on my core if I kill any pain. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Every day a nigga try to test me, yeah. Every day a nigga try to end me, yeah. Pull off in that roadster SV, yeah. Pockets overweight getting hefty, yeah. Coming for the king, that's a far cry. I come alive in the fall time. The competition, I don't really listen. I'm in the blue moon, song, bumping new edition. House so empty, need a centerpiece. 20 racks a table come from ebony. Cut that ever into skinny pieces. Then she clean up with her face, man, I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see a shade. Switch on my side, I take any lane. Switch on my core if I kill any pain. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Let a nigga Brad Pitt, legend of the fall, took the year like a bandit. Bought mama a crib and a brand new wagon. Now she hit the grocery shop looking lavish. Star Trek roof in the Wraith the Con. Girls get loose when they hear the song. 100 on the dash, get me close to God. We don't pray for love, we just pray for cause. House so empty, need a centerpiece. 20 racks a table come from ebony. Cut that ever into skinny pieces. Then she clean up with her face, man, I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see the shade. Switch on my style, I take any lane. Switch on my core if I kill any pain. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy.
How you doing? It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also. And in addition to that as well, welcome to Uncle Lou After Dark, the college football call-in show. We do this show year-round. Welcome back to all the people who think football has an off-season. Good to see all of you back here. Of course, on this channel, there is no off-season. There's just a part of the season where we don't play games, but that part of the season is over. We had a couple of meaningless games last week, and everybody else kicks off, of course, this week starting Thursday night. Well, there's one game on Wednesday, but a couple of games worth watching on Thursday, a couple on Friday, and then a full day of games on Saturday. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you want to be a part of the show, 706-786-4481, 706-786-4481. We'll get to the phone calls here in just 1 second. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. We're going to jump on the phones here in a second. Hit the thumbs up. That really helps me out a lot at the beginning of the show if you guys would hit the thumbs up. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Brian Biak, RB Smata, Tiger Baskins, JC, Guinness Dog, Lugnut, Larry, Aaron Brown, Mike 3883, Mongo, Sean Stapleton, Bulldog, Vol Steak, R. Gannon, Slim Shady, Kane, Zach Fluhardy, 12th Man, Kyle Roach, Jeremy Pruitt, Bean Taz, Michael Hogg, Wicked Roller, Trevor Bond, Exploring with Ben, Kevin Dog Fan for Life, Me Think, Samuel Pate, El Duderino, Andrew Fannin, Everlasting Chaos, Rob Dog, Texas T-Man, Nate the Great, Oni Kuno, caught some of your show earlier, buddy. G. White, my God. The most delusional typer in the history of LouTube is here. G. White. G. White, tell us how Tennessee's going 8-4 or 9-3 like you've told me every single year since 2017. Please tell me. Celine Driver, Jonathan Aaron, K5, Deji Bucci, Pumpkin King, Young Citrus, Jesse, P-Dub. We forfeit the season if we start Joe Milton. Well, you are starting Joe Milton. I mean, your season was pretty much forfeited anyway when 26 players transferred out. But nevertheless, yes, I mean, Joe Milton is starting. So he completed 50% for Michigan. What is that going to make him at Tennessee? 35? I'm not sure. Find out though. Milton is a practice warrior because he looks the part. He's big, tall, strong, fast, has a cannon for an arm. And when you're playing against no defense in practice, when you're throwing against air, he looks pretty good. But you put him in a game situation, and the guy looks like he runs around like a chicken with his head cut off. He's not any good, which is why he's starting for Tennessee. But I digress. Anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Of course, the news today, South Carolina. Zeb. It sounds like the villain from the next Superman movie. Zeb Noland has been named starting QB for South Carolina. 6 weeks ago, he's washing jock straps and shining helmets as a grad assistant. Now starting quarterback in Columbia for the South Carolina Shamecock. That's the second biggest news story of the day. The first biggest news story of the day, Uncle Lou released his Georgia and Clemson game-by-game predictions. And guess what? Uncle Lou has Georgia at 12-0 and the Tater at 11-1, both making it to their conference championship games. So there you go. That's that. Slim Shady Canes, thank you for hitting the super chat. He says, hashtag, where's Deep Barat? I don't know because he's not blocked. I unblocked him. He was blocked during the offseason. What was it, 2 off seasons ago? And he's been unblocked ever since. But like most typer trolls, he's gone with the wind. So I guess that just is what it is. Slim, thank you for hitting the super chat tonight and helping to support the show. The super chats and the PayPals are what keep these live shows going, so I sure do appreciate that. The super chat is located directly below the comment section for your convenience. If you'd like to support the show, that's a great way to do it. There's also a PayPal link that I will post in the comment section now. The PayPal link is also in the description of the video for those of you that don't mind doing it that way. YouTube steals half your super chat, if you don't know, but they do not steal any of your PayPal. So there you go. Speaking of PayPal, Mike Reiser, thank you for hitting the PayPal at the start of the show tonight, sir. Let's see what he has to say. He says, how do you keep a Pitt fan from masturbating? Paint his dick gold and blue. He won't beat it for years. That was not a C- joke. That was not a C- joke. Give that one a B+. Not C-. One more. This is from Chase C. Keep up the good work, sir. Looking forward to the game this weekend. Will be a great game either way. I'll be back, win or lose. Me too. I'll be here either way. As soon as the game ends, I will post a video one way or the other. Win or lose, Uncle Lou will post a video after every single Georgia game. This Saturday will be no different. I will be doing 3 live streams this Saturday. I do the 9 a.m. stream every Saturday morning, College Game Day, right here on this channel. If you're at home watching College Game Day, tune into the live stream with us, and we discuss what we see on game day, and we talk about our game picks for the week. And then I will be live streaming during 2 different time slots of games on Saturday. About 3 or 3:30, I will start a live stream for the afternoon games. Of course, the big one in the afternoon, Alabama versus Miami. That live stream will be right here on this channel on YouTube for everybody to come and hang out and enjoy. And then when that game ends, or at 7:30, whichever comes first, I will end that stream, and I'm going to start a Patreon stream, and I will stream the primetime games, which of course includes Georgia versus Clemson. I don't make the decisions on which games I stream on Patreon. Those decisions are made by the Patreon members. I put a poll up every Monday. They vote, and according to the vote, those guys want me to stream the primetime games, so that game will be on Patreon. If you want to join the Patreon, which I would really appreciate, there's a link in the description of this video that will take you there. You can look around, and if you feel like you want to get signed up, you go ahead and get signed up, and you can join us Saturday night at 7:30 for the Georgia-Clemson game and all the other games that are on. I have 111 TVs in here, so I can watch every single game, plus Fox News, in case I need a laugh. All right, let's get to the phone calls before anyone else decides to drop off. No, wrong button. There you go. Yeah, good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though.
Hey, Lou, what's up? It's Brandon down in Athens. How's it going?
Hey, going good. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. So I didn't know, you definitely don't know this. I don't know how you would have. I actually graduated with Zeb Nolan. He graduated with me in high school.
Oh, same high school. Okay.
So if there's anything you wanted,
Thought maybe you went to South.
Same class and everything.
Thought maybe you went to South Dakota State or something.
No. We went to Oconee High School together. So
okay.
He's a nice guy. I don't think wins football games, but
yeah, I'm sure he is. Grayson Lambert, nice guy. Hudson Mason, nice guy.
the king of nice guys,
Joe Cox,
and
nice
who also
guy.
might need a starting quarterback job now is Jake Fromm.
Yeah, I heard Jake Fromm and Tok now have the same job, so that's pretty alarming.
Yeah, maybe he can start for the Bishop Sycamore, whatever they are.
I don't know if he's old enough. I don't know if he's old enough to play for that team. That is a funny story. And how did ESPN fall for that? My God, ESPN got hoodwinked.
Someone had to get fired, man.
Yeah, that's pitiful. A team full of 19 and 20-year-olds. They had just played a game on Friday, too. They had just played a game on Friday, turn around, play a game on ESPN against IMG 2 days later. Those kids ought to sue those coaches.
And if you look at their schedule, all their games are at like 7 a.m. in the morning. There's one at 3 in the morning. It's really weird.
Yeah.
And the freaking head coach is worn out for his arrest.
Yeah, not good.
But anyway, Lou, that's all I had. Dogs are going to beat Clemson by 40 in my heart and by 3 in my head.
Hey, real quick, as far as you know, is Zeb his real name, or is that a nickname or short for something else?
As far as I know, it's Zeb Nolan. I mean, his dad's the head coach of our high school.
Okay.
So maybe I could ask him.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for the call. Thanks for the support over on the Patreon page, too. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
All right. We'll talk to you again soon. Yeah, he called in on the Patreon hotline. Yeah, and something else you get from the Patreon page. You get your own secret number. You call in, you go straight to the line. Here's another one here calling in from the Patreon. Yeah, good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though.
Good morning, and that is one of your Hall of Famers, the committed Jews.
Celine Driver. Good morning.
Yes. Well, and yes, for the comment section that will make the jokes. Yes, it is past my bedtime.
Well, I was about to say, it must be football. It must be football season. Celine Driver staying up late enough to watch the call-in show.
That is right. That's right. But always supporting the Uncle Lou channel like I'm supposed to.
Yeah. We got to get you back on the morning show one day, too. It seems like it's been a while. I know you've had a lot going on lately, but doesn't the morning show, I think, is the one that's most convenient for you. Is that right, generally?
Nah, either one is convenient for me. I just been ever since I had my little health scare back in December.
Yeah.
My mornings have been kind of goofy,
Okay.
but I want to get back on the morning show. I haven't been on in a long time.
Or the Monday show, whatever. I'll get with you. I'll get with you on the phone and we'll figure that out.
Yeah. But I have a question, an actual football related question.
All right.
I was watching your dual video today, like I'm supposed to. And you laid out all. You said that the line now is Clemson by 3,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Roughly. And you laid out all the injuries and problems that Georgia had, and you laid out all the losses and everything. It seems like Clemson lost more at the end of 2020 than Georgia did, obviously. And Georgia has more injuries than Clemson going into the game, but yet Georgia seems to be more, and trust me, folks, I'm no Georgia sycophant, that's for sure. I don't understand how Georgia is -3, considering how much Clemson lost versus how much Georgia lost, even with the injuries. I mean,
well,
I'm not yet.
Clemson
really,
gets the Alabama
really
treatment. I mean, and they've kind of, I mean, they've earned it. They just, I mean, Alabama lost as much as Florida did. Clemson lost as much as Florida did. But people look at Florida and go, well, they're going to drop off. But then they look at Alabama and Clemson and go, no, they're still going to be top 4. And that's just because they've earned that privilege they've earned the benefit of the doubt over the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, this isn't the first time that Clemson or Alabama has lost Heisman winning or Heisman contending players at the quarterback position or elite wide receivers or running backs. I mean, it happens every couple of years at those programs, and they just keep rolling right along. So it doesn't really surprise me.
Well, not to mention Alabama and Clemson recruit better than Florida, unfortunately. And also, Alabama and Clemson and Georgia don't have lard ass waddling around on their sideline. Hashtag fire Grantham.
Yeah.
And if you all think I'm going to drop the hashtag fire Grantham for this football season, I will as soon as we fire Grantham. Then I'll shut up. I ain't shutting up. My apologies to DK, who really got upset with me constantly with the fire Grantham, but I ain't going to shut up. He got to go. We'll never move forward with that piece of shit on the sideline.
Every fan base has eventually turned on Todd Grantham. Every single one.
Well, I'd like to see our fan base turn on Todd Grantham, say, Sunday afternoon.
Probably not going to happen Sunday.
I think this one. All right, 3 Sundays from now.
Now that's possible.
Get destroyed by Alabama.
That's possible.
Yeah. After we get bitch slapped around by Alabama in the swamp, I think, that would be a good time to get rid of them. Yeah. I was just curious about that because I don't see why Georgia is a 3-point dog to no pun intended. I don't see why they're a 3-point dog to a Clemson team that doesn't seem to be as loaded. And I'm no fan of JT Daniels Christ here, obviously being king of the Jews. But he certainly has a lot more game experience than the ukulele. I don't know why everyone thinks that the ukulele can run around against that front seven.
I think that's a legitimate question. The ukulele has started 2 games. Those 2 games are a 1 possession come from behind win against a terrible Boston College team and a loss to Notre Dame. So if you think Clemson's going to win this game, which is fine, because I think Clemson has a chance to win this game. But if you think they're going to win this game, that means you think in a quarterback's first 3 starts is going to be a 1 possession win against Boston College, a loss to Notre Dame, and a win on a neutral site over a top 5 Georgia team. And I just find that hard to believe. Now, it could happen. Clemson's loaded all around him, but we'll see.
It could happen, but like you said, they lost their best quarterback arguably in Clemson history. They definitely lost, and they lost definitely the best running back in Clemson history. They're going to do running back by committee, and they've got an unproven musical instrument. I don't know.
And
And I'm an
their 3
SEC
leading
homer.
receivers.
I mean,
They also lost their 3 leading
Yeah,
receivers from
yeah,
last year.
that's
Now they get
the
Justin
reason.
Ross back, and he's all world, but that doesn't change the fact that they lost their 3 leading receivers from last year.
Yeah. I just want 2 things out of this season for myself. 3 things. Grantham gone. Hashtag fire Grantham. Beat Florida State so badly that White Tonto never comes out of the tunnel ever again. And General Baltar does not get resurrected on my watch. That's it. I don't have great expectations for 2021. So, I already predicted 9-3 for my Gators. So that's where we're at. I still don't believe in Missouri. So everyone around me is saying Missouri is going to handle their business and beat the Gators. I don't see it. I maybe towards while the season's going, I'll change my mind. But right now, I don't see Missouri. Don't impress me. But I'm going to let you go. Want to get together with you about trying to get on another show or something like that. But I'll let you go for now. I'll let you get another call.
All right, Celine, thanks for calling
so
in, buddy. Good to hear from you, and thanks for supporting me over on the Patreon page. You've been a longtime supporter of the show. Longtime supporter of the show, and I appreciate that. He says he's got Florida at 9-3. I have Florida at 8-4, although I think 9-3 is the most likely record. But if they win any less than 8 games, that is serious cause for concern, in my humble opinion. All right, we got another one on the Patreon hotline here. Let's see who this is. Good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though, and also in addition to that as well.
What's up, Lou? It's Go Bucks. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Go Bucks. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, man. I got to talk to you, man. You SEC boys are hilarious, but there's nobody that beats you guys like these damn ACC fans, man. These guys are – I can't wait for the season to start so that they get to face reality.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of these fan bases in the ACC that just have lost their damn minds, man.
Well, I know you're talking about Miami.
We start with we're definitely talking about Miami. We're talking about UNC for sure. I heard a guy from UNC. He was talking about all kinds of craziness. They got beat by Virginia 4 years in a row now. Virginia. Nobody ever thought about Virginia and thought, man, that's a really good football team.
Right.
Nobody's ever said that. Said nobody ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got they got a quarterback finally, and they got a decent team. They're decent. They're just mediocre, but they're no consequence. And that's what this call is about. It's about teams of consequence, man. Like, do you affect the outcome of the championship? Are you playing for the championship, or are you just here doing the type?
So give me your list of teams of consequence.
Type. Consequence?
Yeah, give me your list.
Bama for sure. Okay, obviously. Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia. Basically, if you haven't made the playoff in the past 4 years, and actually not even the last 4 years, do you compete for it? I mean, this is something that Rob just doesn't get this, like about the top 25 coach thing. Well, I want to get into that with you too, but there's teams that every year you know that they're going to be there ready to play. Okay, and if you look at the recruiting, well, you see the same teams. Okay, people were wondering about Ohio State. Well, their quarterback hasn't done a pass. Let me tell you what Ohio State's going to be. It's going to be elite talent with elite coaching. Okay, Ryan Day is an elite coach, man. He just is. All right, he's done more than 98% of the college football coaches that are out there. All right, he's got a playoff win. And it wasn't just a win, they smacked the shit out of him. Okay? These are teams of consequence. They're playing for the title every year. Okay? These other teams like Miami, and shout out to Slim Shady Canes, man. He's good video. I like that. He's going at the champs. That's cool. But, man, you got 4 straight bowl losses, man. Like, you guys have never won the ACC. the ACC, man, which is a glorified Big Ten.
Yeah, they only have two bowl
crazy.
wins in the last 16 years. 2 bowl wins in the last 16 years, Miami.
Imagine that. Imagine if you woke up tomorrow, man, and that was your team. Miami was your team. Could you imagine that? It'd be terrible. But the worst nightmare, and I got to say this, the worst nightmare, so just close your eyes real quick, Lou. Imagine you're ready for college football. It's about to start, right? And out come the tunnel. Here comes Adrian Martinez.
Oh.
And he's dressed in red and black, man. And on top of it, man, he's starting, and he's got unlimited eligibility, dude.
No.
Could you imagine?
No.
That's a nightmare, man.
No.
That's a damn nightmare.
No. You take
Yeah, he might
take
be the
that
worst.
back. You take that back right now. Adrian Martinez is not coming out of no tunnel not in Georgia red and black. It better be some kind of new Nebraska uniform combination. Adrian Martinez. This guy's been playing since people were still using Blackberries and can't complete a pass. It's unbelievable.
I told my neighbor yesterday.
Martinez.
I told my neighbor yesterday. I seen him. I said, I told my neighbor, I was like, I told my neighbor yesterday, I was like, dude, did you watch that Nebraska game? He goes, no. I was like, dude, first half he was throwing over their heads. Second half he was throwing at their feet. And then he just couldn't help himself. He had to give the ball away twice. He had to hand it to him. That's how bad he was.
Yeah.
It was that bad, man. And, I will say this, too, about the Big Ten, man. You boys got to step up, man. I mean, my God. The Big Ten's starting to trend the way of the ACC, where you got one team at the top. And we got some decent teams. I mean, Wisconsin brings it, but damn. I mean, my God. You guys got to step up a little bit. You know what I mean?
What's with the? Let me ask you this.
It's way bigger than the ACC. It's way better than the ACC.
Let me ask you something, because I mean, you're making a lot of valid points about some of the fans in the ACC and some things they're saying about some of the teams. I'm not taking up for the ACC because I agree with you what you're saying. What is all this I'm hearing about Indiana? There's some of this going on in the Big Ten too. I mean, I all off season. Indiana win 10 games. No.
Look, Indiana's North Carolina, man.
Fake news. No. North Carolina would beat North Carolina would beat the doo out of Indiana.
No, I'm not talking about the teams playing, man. I'm talking about the fan base.
Oh,
all right. So what it is you got teams that are absolute garbage forever. I mean, Indiana is a basketball school, and hell, they haven't even won shit in basketball forever. Okay, they're not good at anything. Okay, but they're terrible. They get a decent season, and then they get on, do the type, talk about how they're going to beat everybody.
Yeah.
That's just what it is, man. It's like people they're getting ahead of their skis, man. A lot of these teams.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about Miami fans talking about putting diss tracks out, talking about Bama. It's like, what are you talking about, man? Like Bama? You're going to talk about Bama. Bro, you haven't even won your conference, man. You're playing like you're a slip away from being in the Pac-12, man.
You're
Clemson
playing.
Clemson wasn't there. You're in the Pac-12, man.
Yeah, they're playing the best coach in the history of history, and he has 8 months to prepare for you.
Forever. And
look,
hey, I'll tell you this. Hey,
if Alabama was playing Ohio State on Saturday, I would pick Alabama against any team in America on Saturday. Saban with 8 months to prepare, no way I would pick against him.
Until I see different. Man.
I saw a Miami man in the comment section earlier today say that Miami's winning 52-35.
Well, he's high, man. He's high.
He must have some of that Breaking Bad meth. He's got some of that good.
Man, no, he's a Florida man, dude. They sniff bath. They sniff bath salts and eat people's faces down there, man. That's what those people do, man. That's a Florida man.
It's alarming. It's very alarming.
And hey, look, as an Ohio State fan, I got to shit on Michigan real quick and their fan base. So I watched the Buckeye Scoop. It's another little video podcast on YouTube. It's pretty good. But who's their quarterback this year? what's his name? Does it matter? Nah, not really. But he said Sports Illustrated came out with an article and said it was disrespectful to leave him off the Heisman watch list. This is what I got to deal with in the Big Ten, man. That's why I had to come down here and get on your show, and I had to start talking trash to these SEC boys because these Big Ten boys, they don't get it, man. They don't know what – I'm surprised they know what the damn shape of football is.
Yeah.
It's insane, man.
Yeah.
It's like we got a lot of these football – and the Clemson fans are cool, actually, except for where's my guy in the comment section? What is it? What's his name? Clemson fan, something like that. He said he owned Ohio State, because they beat us 4 times in a row, man. I mean, that's ownership. But you don't really own somebody when they just curb stomp the hell out of you just recently.
Yeah.
You just got your ass whipped, man, So rest of the Clemson fans are pretty rational, except for this dude. I don't know what his deal is. But the stuff with Rob, man, is that not the most annoying thing when you're trying to talk to somebody legitimately? And this dude is saying Kirby Smart's not a top 25 coach, and you come up with some facts. I mean, you didn't do yourself no favors calling him fat. Everybody knows he's fat, man. Guy's fat as shit. Okay, he's disgusting looking. Looks like a whole bag of mashed up acids. But at the same time, man, he didn't come with anything. If you're going to say Kirby Smart's not a top 25 coach, I want you to come with some kind of reason. And when you asked him, he said, well, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like him was his
Dude,
only
that's like
thing.
Two little kids.
And I kept telling him, I
that's
don't like
that's not a take.
No, I don't
not
like
a take.
Dabo Swinney. I don't like Dabo Swinney. I think he's a crybaby.
I don't either, but he's a
top 5 coach.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like Urban Meyer.
For sure.
Urban Meyer's
Urban
Meyer's human doo-doo.
Oh,
but
he's a duplicitous scumbag.
But
man.
he's a top 5 coach. If he would come back, he'd immediately be a top 5 coach. I don't have to like somebody to have a brain.
Yo, Urban's a scumbag, dude. Urban's a scumbag.
Gus Malzahn.
He knew his coach was beating his wife. Yo, Urban knew his coach was beating his wife, and he just didn't say shit about it. Okay, that's the reality. But look, if you're playing big-time college football and you don't think your coach is a scumbag in some way, well, buddy, you're just naive. This is college football, man.
Somebody I know once said about college football coaches, Jesus Christ didn't coach football for a reason. Nice guys finish last. Hey, I'm going to have to let you go. There's a billion phone calls backed up, but I do appreciate you calling in, and thank you for supporting me and the show over on the Patreon page. That really means a lot, so thank you.
All right, no doubt, man. I'll see you, Lou.
All right, we'll talk to you next time. Go Bucks checking in there. Ohio State set for another big year. We'll read some super chats and then get right back on the phones. Michael Vick, thank you for hitting the super chat. VicTube's got a birthday coming up, I heard. Through the grapevine. He says Zeb Nolan equals Walmart Stetson Bennett. Zach Fluharty, thank you for the super chat. He says, hail to Pitt. Can't wait to watch Tennessee fans cry live in person next week. Are you going to be there? Okay. Yeah, I did pick Pitt to win that game in my prediction video. We'll see if I change my mind next week when I do my weekly game predictions, but I did pick Pitt to win that game in the preseason. Jonah, thank you for the super chat. South Carolina starting a 1-star Bobby Boucher at QB. Sounds like USC Junior will be 0-12. I think they may still win this weekend. East Carolina's really bad. They haven't made a bowl game since 2015. They're really horrible. South Carolina and Tennessee both I don't think are any good at all, but I think they're both going to win relatively easily in week 1 because they just play really, really bad teams. Now, if either Tennessee or South Carolina lose or even struggle to either one of those teams, bad sign. Bad sign. Mike Estes, thank you for the super chat, sir. I appreciate you supporting the show. He says, thank you, Uncle Lou, for keeping me entertained the last year. I beat cancer today. Shout out to you, sir. Cancer's no match for you, buddy. Congratulations, man. I'm happy for you. He said, so let's go win a natty now. Go Dogs. That would be great, but that's obviously secondary to what you have overcome, sir. That's amazing. Congratulations. I'm extremely happy for you and your family. That's great news. Dylan Deloney, thank you for hitting the super chat, sir. He says, I think the ukulele will run for his life versus Georgia. The ukulele's not capable of running for his life. He runs a 5-second 40. So if he finds himself in a situation where he needs to run for his life, he's a dead man. Metaphorically speaking, somebody be done cut that out and accuse me of wanting somebody dead or something else stupid like yet. No, I don't need that aggravation. Brian Biak says, spare bedroom looking good, buddy. Mike Estes, already read that one. I think I got them all. Coach Coop. Coach Coop. Who in their right mind would put out an Alabama diss track? I told him this morning on the morning show, you're getting the last laugh. Not with the outcome of the game. Sorry, but Miami's going to lose. Not with the outcome of the game, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm happy for you, man. I have to admit, I didn't see the video either when you uploaded it to your channel, but I think it was it Sunday? I think it was Sunday. I kept seeing it everywhere. Saturday Down South, 24/7 Sports, all over the football groups on Facebook. That's a win for you, sir. Congratulations. Texas T-Sip Central, thank you for the generous super chat. He says, I can see it now. OU fans standing around cleaning the fryers, giving each other horns down, and then discussing how they're going to pay rent as they snort OxyContin off of the top of the urinal in the Sonic bathroom. Y'all are going to fit right in the SEC. This is what I've been saying about Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC. Forget about the actual teams for a second. These two fan bases are perfect for the SEC. There's not a lot of fan bases outside of the SEC that can match the passion of the SEC, but Texas and Oklahoma are two of them. Ohio State, Michigan, Southern Cal when they're good, and some ACC teams too. But y'all are going to fit right in. Y'all are going to fit right in. No doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. What does that say? Snorting OxyContin off the top of the urinal in the Sonic bathroom. I didn't even know Sonic had a bathroom. Maybe because I've never been inside of a Sonic. I thought you had to sit outside. So is the Sonic bathroom just like behind the building? Like in the bushes? You just pee in the bushes? I'm asking for a friend. I'm honestly asking. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou. This is Edward calling, and how you doing on this awesome Tuesday night?
Doing good, Edward.
Good. I'd say Tennessee's going to go more like 4-8. That's my prediction for them. Sorry, guys, you're going to be like South Carolina. All right, with that out of the way, I'd like to ask you for a couple predictions. What's your prediction for Ohio State versus Minnesota, and your prediction for Iowa versus Indiana?
You don't ever have to ask me about Ohio State. I bet Ohio State every week, and I lay the points every week. I don't care who they're playing or what the spread is. Every week. And this will be the third year in a row I've done that. So I'm taking Ohio State. They're a 14-point favorite last I looked. So I'm taking Ohio State minus 14. Ohio State is something like in the last two seasons. You got to remember they didn't play a lot of games last year because of the pandemic. But in the last two seasons, Ohio State is something like 14-2 against the spread. So, I take Ohio State every week. I don't care who they're playing or how much the spread is. I take Ohio State every week, period. What was the other one?
Oh, the other one was, what's your prediction for Iowa versus Indiana?
Iowa and the under. Whatever the under is, whatever the over-under is, I'm taking the under. And I'm taking, what is Iowa, 3-point favorite? Or are you just asking who's going to win the game? Iowa's going to win.
Yeah, pretty much like your prediction on winning.
Oh, yeah. Iowa.
Pretty much.
Iowa.
Okay. Cool. All right. All right. Thank you, Uncle Lou, for answering the questions. I'll talk to you again Monday. Unless something changes, I'll let you know if something changes.
All right. Thanks, Edward. Good to hear from you, buddy. See who's up next here. Yeah, good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
What's up, Lou? This is Clemson Tiger fan, man.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up, what's up? So, old Go Bucks wanted to hate on me a little bit. And it's all right. I ain't going to take he's probably still just a little salty that we own that record. Yeah, we got beat in the last game, but we were drinking Ryan Day tears in 2019. Cause, you know, he said Dabo was a crybaby. Oh, Ryan Day was the biggest crybaby ever heard after that for like the last month, the full month of that. So, anyways, I just wanted to call. I was going to ask you one thing, because, you know, you stream the games and stuff like that. And does it, like, suck to not be able to watch it with, like, your family or, like, go over, like, did you used to do that? Did you have a squad you watched it with? Like, I go over to my cousins and all my family comes over and a couple of friends, and we sit back and watch the game all together, grill and stuff. Like, you can't really do that.
Yeah,
I
did that for years. I did that for 20 years. Now, that slowed down a lot as I got older and had kids, as far as having 10, 15 people over to watch the game and stuff like that. That did slow down a little bit. Now, I mean, I'm not going to lie. There are some days where I would like to just maybe sit down and watch the game, whether it be by myself without streaming or with a group of people or whatever the case. And I'm not comparing myself to any of these people. But I'm sure Kirk Herbstreit would love to sit in his recliner and watch games all day on Saturday, and so would Brent Musburger and Gary Danielson. I mean, the reality is, if you work in the college football business, you have to work on Saturdays from September to January. You don't have a choice, really. So to be honest with you, I can't afford not to work on Saturdays during the football season, or I wouldn't be able to eat in March and April.
I got you. I feel you. I just figured it probably sucks not, because, like, when you're streaming, you got to be entertaining. You can't just sit back, like you said, relax. You know, you got to keep checking the chat, Patreon, all the things.
Now, I have had people over. So. I have had people over on a few occasions while I was streaming. Of course, my son comes out every once in a while on the stream with me. My daughter, if she's got a friend over, sometimes they'll come out. My dad, I've had several friends come over. When I had a smaller channel, I can't do this now. Back 3-4 years ago, I used to come on this call-in show and say, if there's anyone listening that wants to come to my house and watch the game, email me. And they came. And so I would have 4 or 5 strangers show up at my house and watch the game with me while I live streamed it. But I can't do that anymore because I didn't know, I'd have to tell a lot of people. Well, I'd have to tell too many people no, which is my favorite word. No. No. But no, I don't. It took some getting used to, but it's more of a routine now than anything else. And the way, I mean, sort of how I look at it is, just like anybody else who may have to work, there's plenty of college football fans who have to work weekends. I did it for years. I was in retail for a long time in the cell phone business, and I hardly ever got a Saturday off. It didn't make me any less of a college football fan. Now, it sucked that I had to go to work and not watch the games. At least now, my work is watching the games. So I'm not complaining at all. But it is what it is.
Yeah. And I got a few more things I was going to hit if I got the time on. I want to try and get to them, but if I got to go, I understand. One thing, you keep talking about DJ only having 2 starts and stuff, and I understand that, but I gotta. Do you think JT Daniels is more talented than DJ, or do you think they're equal, or do you think DJ is a good bit more talented, has a bigger ceiling? Would you agree with that or not?
I think DJ is probably more talented.
Okay, so
I think he's more talented than Mac Jones too.
Okay,
but Mac Jones had been there for 4 years, and so experience does matter. But JT Daniels, DJ's more talented. JT Daniels is not Jake Fromm though. I mean, JT definitely. Daniels can sling the ball.
But the thing is, but I think DJ and JT Daniels are almost identical in their experience. And let me explain myself. So he played at USC for a season, wasn't very good towards ACL, and then he was off a year, and then he transferred to Georgia last year. So think about it. It was a COVID year last year. Both of them were pretty much freshmen on the Georgia campus and the Clemson campus. DJ was a freshman behind Trevor. JT was pretty much a freshman at Georgia, learning a brand new offense, having to go through all that. And they also really didn't get much because it was a COVID season with a COVID camp. So there's that. Now you have this year, they're both the starter. And then also last year, JT played 4 games, 4.5 games. DJ played 2 games. They both had one kind of, JT had 2 kind of doo-doo games that he did good in. DJ had 1 doo-doo game, Boston College, and then a really good game, Notre Dame and Cincinnati. DJ did lose that game, but he also threw for like 420, 430 yards and had 4 touchdowns or whatever it was. I don't know. Had a couple of touchdowns.
And Matt Corral throws for 500 a game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, but anyway, so now they have a whole, now this is like they're the starters. They've had a whole off season. This is like their first off season. And plus, I think going from freshman to sophomore is much more of a bigger jump than what JT is in, like, because DJ is also getting in the weight room. You know, JT's, you kind of bump up as you go through in the weight room and stuff, but I think you see a bigger jump.
I'm just going to stop you. This is way too big of a leap for me. JT Daniels had a complete season of experience at Southern Cal, then sat out a year, then practiced with Georgia starting in July of last year through October, and then played October and November with first team reps. Okay. The ukulele has 2 weeks of first team reps last year. JT Daniels had 2 months worth of first team. I'm talking about practice now.
Yeah.
And you said he sucked at Southern Cal. While I would agree with you, he skipped his senior year of high school. He was starting at Southern Cal when he should have been in English class in high school. He was 17.
Yeah.
He skipped his senior year. And Southern Cal wasn't very good. I just completely. It seems like you're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole to prove that a year and a half's worth of starting experience doesn't matter. And I just couldn't disagree more.
No, but what it's the thing that they're in totally different systems. Yes, he was not playing because he had the ACL for a whole year, so he had to pretty much.
I mean, no matter what you say, the reality is JT Daniels has 15 games of college experience starting, and the ukulele has 2. Whatever else you say is you're trying to equate 2 games of starting experience in college to 15, and that just can't. That just doesn't add up to me.
I know but I don't know. I just think it's also. It's a year. He went from playing to a year off. To now
I know. With all due respect, you've said all this, and I just couldn't disagree more. I just completely disagree.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. I just see it as the.
I know how you see it. I know. You don't have to say it again.
Okay.
I just don't agree.
Fine.
That's
and
all. I don't think anyone agrees, actually.
Okay, and also. Okay, well that's fine. Totally fine, but and then I was also your video you made of the Clemson and the Georgia, the schedule previews you watched. You know, and you said that, I'm a Georgia homer. People are joking, of course. And the thing is, like, I think that's honestly a little bullcrap because, like, in Carolina Jackpot made a video saying how he's unbiased. And I think, me and you, we're unbiased, but at the same time, like, we're biased because we watch. I look at TigerNet all year long. I learn Kobe Pace. I learn the backup running back. I hear all about this and all about that from Clemson.
Tell me about your 2-star center. Tell me about your 2-star center that's starting on Saturday.
Oh, offensive line is definitely going to be a question, big time.
How is it possible that you're starting a 2-star center that no one knows? How'd that happen?
I have no idea. I'm not at practice, but I'm just saying. Like, I think whenever you say you're biased, like, or I know you were joking, I think that's just some bullcrap. Because of course you're going to be you're not going to be biased in the fact that you're just biased. It's just you know more about Georgia than you do about Clemson, and vice versa with anything. So, like, I mean, I just think like anybody that's going to go and say, "Oh, he's a Georgia homer, he chose Georgia," I just think that's
no, I'm not biased at all in the prediction videos that I do. I do those. I pick who I think's going to win and lose, whether I'm doing Georgia or anyone else. The point I was trying to make is that no matter what record I give Georgia in a prediction video, I get attacked because unless I pick Georgia unless I just come on video and say, well, Georgia's going 12-0, talk to you later, then there's a certain amount of Georgia fans who are going to say, well, this idiot, he doesn't have any faith in the team. He's not a real fan. You know, the Disney dogs who think Georgia's going 12-0 every single year. That's not me. And then everyone else who's not a Georgia fan, unless I say Georgia's going to go 0-12, they go, well, you only think Georgia's beating Florida because you're a Georgia fan. You only think Georgia's beating Auburn because you're a Georgia fan. No, those aren't the only reasons. So I can't win when I do the Georgia prediction video, but I have no problem picking Georgia to lose a game in my preseason prediction videos. Now, during the season, when I do the hype and hate videos and all that kind of stuff, I say this all the time too. We could be playing the 1985 Bears. I would come on Friday and trash Jim McMahon and talk about how shitty Walter Payton is and how Georgia's about to beat him by 30 points. That's just what I do. So I'm not really apologizing for what I do. See, what it is every offseason, a certain amount of new people come to my channel. So I try to use the prediction videos when I do the Georgia ones to explain to people, this is my honest prediction, whether you accuse me of being just a blind homer or not. So that's all that was.
Yeah. Well, hope the game's a good, clean game with no injuries. And I think all Georgia and Clemson fans can agree with that. So good Tigers, and I can't wait for the fourth, man.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for taking the time to call in. It's good to hear from you. Where are we at here? Ethan Hewlett says, dabba dabba doo. Go Dogs. Dabba dabba doo. Yabba dabba doo. You want a yabba dabba doo? Yabba dabba dabba Swinny, sponsored by Kleenex. Pizza Fest. Thank you for hitting the super chat. He says, is Chip Kelly back, or is Orgeron a one-year wonder? Both of those things are true, in my opinion. I do not think Orgeron will win another national title, and I think UCLA is going to be a good team. So I think both those things are true. Exploring with Ben, thank you for hitting the super chat. He says, let's get this season done with before worrying about trash talking next year's games. Go Ducks. I guess that must be directed towards somebody in the comments section. He's an Oregon fan, and of course Georgia and Oregon play week 1 next year in a kickoff game. I don't think I said anything about that game though. Twisted Chicken, thank you for the super chat. Tater Man, he says, Tater Man, going home to Crown the Rock after them dogs kick them in the cock. Tater Man, does whatever the tater can. Runs down the hill, rubs his rock. The ukulele can suck my... Watch out, here comes the Tater Man. Tom Smith, thank you for hitting the super chat, sir. He says, what happened to the shed? You're in a new room. Go UT. Nothing happened to the shed. Absolutely nothing. Brian Biak, thank you for the super chat. Do you see 17-year-old Quinn Ewers, $1.4 million NIL deal? I did not hear about his name, image, and likeness deal. No, but like JT Daniels, Quinn Ewers has decided to skip his senior year of high school, and so he's at Ohio State now. Now, he won't play this year. He got there like a month ago. He's not going to play this year, but he's there. JT Daniels did play. JT Daniels was in the same boat as Quinn Ewers. skipped his senior year of high school and enrolled at Southern Cal. Wilkie, thank you for the super chat. You want to cut the line, join Patreon. Yeah, Patreon puts you right to the top of the there's another number on the Patreon page that you can call. Takes you straight to the top of the list. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Morning, Blue. Actually, first thing first, I just joined the Patreon account, so I didn't have the number to call in to the Patreon number.
I repost it every month or so, because I make posts on there, and so you have to scroll to find it. So if I can remember, I'll repost it tonight after the show or tomorrow or something. So it'll be easier for you to find.
On hold, so.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, thank you. I appreciate
but
that.
I just wanted to make a public service announcement to South Carolina fans. Because I feel like as a Tennessee fan, it's really the only fan base I can talk shit to.
Yeah.
Just because his daddy was a good college football coach does not mean that he will be a good college football coach. Sincerely, every Tennessee fan ever.
Yes, that's a fact. Rob Sanders said Frank Beamer is a better head football coach than Kirby Smart. That Rob Sanders told me that last week. The guy's a complete he's a nitwit. I don't know what else to say. And I like Rob, but he's out of his mind on this one. So anyway. Yeah. That was a good announcement.
I mean, I'll say this right now. I'm a Tennessee fan, right? And Georgia has completely embarrassed Tennessee since 2017? The difference between the year that we beat y'all.
Yeah.
The difference between the year that we beat y'all with the Hail Mary and the year after when y'all just completely demoralized the entire fan base. That's all coaching. That's all development. That's nothing else. One thing else I wanted to say as well, kind of a troll to Nebraska. I would rather have Jarrett Garandudu coming back for his 8th senior year at Tennessee than have Adrian Martinez as our starting quarterback.
Yeah, well, that's a damn shame. I'm the last person to make excuses for Jarrett Garandudu, but you talked about coaching. The guy had 3 different offensive coordinators in 4 years. That's not a good formula.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a good formula for developing a QB, especially one that's not ultra talented to start with. I mean, so you need consistency. Yeah. I mean, that's hard for him. But yeah, with Adrian Martinez, how Nebraska and Scott Frost have managed to roll him out onto the field for 4 years straight is unacceptable. It's almost like Scott Frost wants to prove to people that he was right in thinking that Adrian Martinez could be a good QB, so he just keeps putting him out there week after week, hoping and crossing his fingers that he'll have a good game. But what I saw last week, if that's the best Adrian Martinez can do after being in that program under Scott Frost for 4 years, there's no hope for him. He's not a quarterback. He's a running back or a wide receiver or a slot receiver. He's not a quarterback.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, Jared Garantano could throw a ball farther than Adrian Martinez.
Oh,
I mean, just a noodle arm. I mean, I had a high school quarterback that did the ball better than that. I mean, that was rough to watch. But another, last thing I really wanted to say is, obviously I've been drinking orange Kool-Aid a little bit. Season's about to start. Not going to talk a whole lot because I think Pitt is really going to see where the team's at.
I agree.
I think the Pitt game is going to be kind of the swing game for the year. But I think best case scenario for Tennessee, they beat somebody they're not supposed to beat this year.
Yeah.
And I think their best chance is Florida.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just high. But the way I see it is I think Tennessee's defensive line will be one of the most improved units. I'm not saying they're going to be the world beaters. I know no count. But with the coach that they have at D-line, I could see Tennessee's defensive line being the best, most improved unit on the team with Rodney Garner there. Florida's supposed to have a horrendous offensive line from what I'm understanding, and a depleted secondary. So I could see that kind of being a shootout game because I've never been sold on Emory Jones ever.
Me either.
I just don't think he's. I think he's a little bit better than Jarrett Garantano, to be honest with you. Maybe.
Yeah,
just from watching game film.
I think they'll be able to do a lot of things with him running around that they weren't able to do with Kyle Trask, but I don't think he'll put up near the numbers overall that Kyle Trask did. I don't even think it'll be close.
And am I completely off base here? I mean, I just being, trying to be as realistic as I can. Obviously, best case scenario, we win 6-7 games this year, maybe beat somebody we don't, not supposed to. And I was just saying, as far as an upset goes, I think y'all best chance is at Florida.
Yeah.
But
I would love it. That would be hilarious.
Taking the call.
Yeah. It was good to hear from you. Thanks for taking the time to call in. Yeah, I appreciate it. And thanks again for joining up on the Patreon page. I really appreciate that. I've said this before. I might as well mention it again now since we've had so many people calling in on the Patreon line. But without that Patreon page, I never would have been able to do this full time. So it really means a lot.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing. This is the first time in 4 years that I'm going to be able to watch a full college football season. Full college football season since I've been in the Marine Corps.
Oh, great! Yeah, that's good.
The first year I was in boot camp during 2017, and I got a letter telling me that Georgia beat Tennessee 41-0.
Oh no!
The second year I was in 29 palms on training exercise for 45 days, so I missed about half the season. The third year I was in Australia and paid $60 just to watch Tennessee lose to Georgia State. So hopefully, for my sake.
Yeah.
For my sake.
I hope for your sake they
better.
they at least make a bowl game this year then and give you a reason to be hopeful.
That's all I'm expecting.
Yeah. All right.
That's all I'm expecting.
All right.
7-6 is best case scenario for me, but
yeah, that would be
appreciate it. Thanks for taking the call.
All right, yeah, thanks for your service too. You're much braver than I am. Somebody else was on hold on the Patreon, and I hit the wrong button. So if that was you, just call back and I'll put you right on. I apologize for that. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hello.
Hello.
I didn't know. All right, so I'm a Pitt fan, so you probably don't hear a lot from like ACC guys.
No, I don't have any problem with ACC people.
But this is like, first off, I just want to say to that Ohio State fan that was on, he's an idiot, has no idea what he's talking about the ACC. But my question was about the Pitt-Tennessee game, like how close you think it's going to be and stuff like that, because I'll be at that game.
Yeah, hard to know without seeing either one of them play. I did believe I picked Pitt to win that game, though. But as far as a score or how close it will be, I'll have to wait until after this weekend's games to make that kind of a determination. It's hard to guess the score of games coming up now, much less games down the road. I mean, what if half your team gets hurt, or what if a piano falls on your quarterback's head? I mean, score prediction 2 weeks out, I have no idea.
I think Pitt is in a much better place than Tennessee is right now. Their defensive line is probably the second best in the ACC.
I agree with that.
They got a fifth-year starter. I don't know. I just think Pitt is probably 20 points better than Tennessee is right now, honestly.
20? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is the line out for that game? My guess is that Pitt might be a 4 or 5 point favorite, if I had to guess. I'm not an odds maker, but that would be my guess.
That percentage predictor on the ESPN app's like 55% Pitt. I just think Pitt is way ahead defensively than Tennessee is offensively, and Middleton's not that good.
Yeah. Well, Tennessee's offense will be better than their defense because their defense is going to be non-existent. They might have the worst defense in the SEC. I mean, their defense is going to be horrible.
And when Pitt has a fifth-year starting quarterback, too, that will probably – and Jordan Addison is probably going to go to the draft.
Right.
The receiver. And have that Lucas Kroll transfer from Florida.
Yeah.
But that's it. I don't want to keep you for 30 minutes like everybody else. So
okay. Well, thank you for the call. Good luck to your Pitt Panthers this year. It was good to hear from you. I hope you'll call back in. Call back in next week. We'll talk about the Pitt-Tennessee game. There's games this weekend we can talk about now. Yeah, good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though.
Good morning, Uncle Lou. I just got a quick question. I'm an Army Black Knights fan. Anyway,
Okay.
I just want you to know, like, Army usually gives these, like, Oklahomas and Michigan, they've taken them both to overtime recently.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to think if you think that they could stand a chance with Wisconsin, like, the triple option could really mess with them, and if you think they could have any chance of winning.
A chance, yes. Army slows the game way down. They limit the number of possessions that the other team gets. And when a team never plays against the triple option and they only have 1 week a year to prepare for the triple option, the week leading up to the game, it becomes very hard to defend that. And that's why you see a team like Army go toe-to-toe with somebody like an Oklahoma, or the Michigan you mentioned, or whatever else. So there's always that chance. Now, it's not likely that Army would beat a team like Wisconsin, but things happen that aren't likely in football all the time. So I'm not going to say there's no chance. But Army plays good defense, and then they slow the game down offensively with the grinded out triple option. So yes, they have a chance.
All right. Well, thank you for taking my call, and I hope you have a good night.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate you calling in. It was good to hear from you. An Army fan. Good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though.
Lou, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, Lou, you seem to sometimes think about outside the box when I'm dogs.
Do what now?
You know, we got big.
I can't
think outside the box.
Think outside the box.
Yeah, you seem to. You can do that. But as you know, Georgia, we got big money. And how many national championships you think we could get if we could maybe hire Dabo and keep Kirby on, just pay him big bucks to be the recruiting coordinator?
No.
You think we couldn't talk them into it?
No. What the hell would Dabo Swinney come to Georgia for?
Well, we got the money.
Who makes more, Dabo or Kirby?
We can hire him. We got the money.
Clemson's got plenty of money. Sir, I don't even... The entire premise of this question is ridiculous.
We got more money than Clemson.
Stanford has more money than Georgia.
Not for football.
Doesn't matter. The money doesn't have to come from. Doesn't matter where the money comes from, does it? Money is money.
Well, Alabama did. We could do it.
I can't take this call an hour into the show. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great.
Hey, I got a couple questions. I was wondering to get your take about the Penn State-Wisconsin game and the Ohio State-Minnesota. Should I take the overs on both of them or go with the unders? Why is it every time? Okay, I'll ask again if you need me to, but I don't know why it messes up. I'm debating on taking the overs on both the Ohio State game and the Penn State game this weekend, or should I go with the unders?
You'd have to, you know what you should do? Call Wednesday and ask Pigskin Pete. He's the over-under guy. I very rarely bet over-unders, so I don't even know what the over-unders are. So tell me what they are.
Okay. I don't know. That's asking because I.
Okay. Oh, whoa. Stop right there. There. You called to ask me, should you take the over-under on Ohio State, but you don't even know what the over-under is? Well, then my answer is that you shouldn't bet it at all. Don't bet it at all.
Okay.
If you don't even know what the over-under is, then you shouldn't bet it either way. Now, the other game you asked about was Oklahoma. Now, what's the over-under on the Oklahoma game?
No. It was the Ohio State Minnesota game.
Oh, I thought you asked about 2 games. Go ahead with your second
Yeah,
question.
I did.
I'm not sure what's going on here.
Okay, I'm going to sign up for Patreon this weekend, but I just want to know, can you actually upgrade on that? Or once you're locked in the one, that's where you're at?
No. You can change it
Patreon.
anytime you want. You can go up, down, cancel altogether, whatever you want. You're not locked into anything at all on there.
All right. I was just wondering. All right, thanks so much. Have a great night.
All right, thanks for the call, Hog. Good to hear from you, sir. Good morning, what's wrong with Uncle Ludo?
Lou, sir, how are you?
Slim Shady K's. What's up, buddy?
Well, first of all, I got to deal with Go Bucks. I need some kind of explanation as to what my team's record has to do with my trash talk ability.
Yeah, 0. Nothing. None. People, that's like people tell me all the time, oh, you can't trash talk Alabama, Lou. They're the best team. They win the 6 national title. The hell I can. I could do a 24-hour live stream and do nothing but trash Alabama. I mean, so I agree with you. I agree with you. We're on the same page.
And secondly, when it comes to that sucknut fan, he's absolutely right. Ohio State is a team of consequence. Somebody has to show up every other year and lose a national title game. And I guess that's just y'all's lot in life. Now, on to my real reason for calling. I wanted to get your opinion on a couple of games. I listened to you and Pete talk about the Louisville Ole Miss game yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm not on Louisville as a team, but I am high on their offense. And I think both of these teams could throw up 40-plus points.
Yeah. Ole Miss's defense was really bad last year, so if it hasn't improved at all, and Louisville's offense has gotten a little bit better. See, I watched the first Louisville game last year, and I don't remember who they played, but our offense looked amazing. So, like, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I said, you know what, I'm going to play Louisville. And they crapped to bed week after week after week, so it soured me on Louisville. Now, I haven't done a Louisville preview or prediction, so I haven't looked that much into Louisville yet. But if they've got all those speedsters coming back that they had last year and they all play a little bit better, then you could be right, because Ole Miss's defense is not, it's not like Ole Miss's defense is amazing. I mean, that's the weakness on that team. So you could be right. That could be a 54-45 type of game.
Yeah, I could really see a Memphis UCF type game happening there.
Yeah.
And the second game I wanted to talk about, this may be wishful thinking on my part, a little bit of trolling as if I would do anything of the sort, but I think I've found my upset of the week, and I think it's going to be FAU over Florida.
Oh, makes sense.
Because nothing, absolutely nothing in this world, even Miami upsetting Alabama, would not set up the troll opportunities of a Miami quarterback and Willie Taggart just decimating Dan Mullen. I mean, just think about it. Willie Taggart does Willie Taggart things. And then FAU, to their credit, picked up Miami's transfer quarterback that decided to leave. Now, if they somehow manage to go in there and upset Florida,
shout out to all the FAU fans. I don't know.
I give these people in the comment section something to grasp a hold of as far as troll opportunities for this next week, and that I'm shooting for the stars.
That would be, well, you're a Miami fan, sir. That would be right up there with Miami losing to FIU 2 seasons ago. It would be that level of embarrassing.
It would be.
Yeah.
It really would be. And see, Florida, piece of advice, if it happens, just do like I do. Own it. Okay, it happened. I mean, you know, people could bring up embarrassing losses for every team in the country.
Yeah.
It ain't the end of the world.
Right.
You just got to deal with it for a few weeks or maybe a year.
Yeah. I'd love to get on board with you. I just can't pull the trigger on that one. I have a feeling Florida wins by 40 points.
I have a feeling Florida wins too, but I got to go for a good upset.
Yeah, that would be a
and
good
that just seems a grand place for it to happen.
That's App State versus Michigan level upset right there from 12, 13 years ago.
And you know, speaking of that, what do I have to do to get another 2007 type season again? I'm just chomping at the bit for something like that. I know some people aren't old enough in this comment section to remember it, but that season was fun.
I remember it. 2007 for Georgia was exactly the same as 2020 for Oklahoma. Georgia lost to some bad teams, 2 of them, early in the season, and that was it for them. At the end of the season, they were the best team in America, and it wasn't close. They were blowing everybody out by 40 points, but they shit the bed early in the season, and that was it. So I definitely remember that season.
Yeah, they let Kansas be the number 1 team in the country at one time.
Yeah, facts.
All right, boss. I'll talk to you Thursday, and I'll come on here and rip Alabama for a few minutes.
Hey, man, nothing would make me happier. Thanks for calling in, Slim. Good to hear from you, buddy. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou, it's Oni Kuno.
What's up, Oni?
Man, I'm sad again, man. I'm sad.
What's wrong now?
You know what I'm sad about?
Not having any running
backs? I was
backs?
on hold.
Oh.
Well, that's one thing, but we'll deal with that. But I listened to a caller earlier. I want to help you think outside the box, Lou. I want to help you think outside the box. I heard Georgia doesn't have any money, but Stanford has more money than Georgia. We can't have that, Lou. You deserve Dabo Swinney.
Hell, why stop there? Why stop there? Let's get Dabo as head coach, move Kirby over to D.C., and just throw a bunch of $10 bills at Lincoln Riley and get him as OC.
I'm willing to make that sacrifice for you in Georgia. And here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to think outside the box like this, by thinking inside the box. Oh. This October 31st, I'm going to, you know how they trick or treat for UNICEF?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to trick or treat for UGA.
There you go.
Thinking outside the box by putting coins inside my box. We're going to make this happen. I'm telling you, we're going to make this happen, Lou. That was the dumbest phone call I've ever heard in my life. So, yeah, Dabo to Georgia, thinking outside the box. That was brilliant right there.
Yeah. I spent half my time trying to convince people that Dabo Swinney's not going to Alabama when Saban leaves. Now I got to convince them that he's not coming to Georgia.
Yeah, Kirby Smart's just going to step aside and be a recruiting coordinator. That's brilliant. That is message. Hey, that is message board genius right there.
Kirby Smart would be the best recruiting coordinator in America.
You know what? You're probably right. You're probably right. I couldn't. It's hard to argue with that logic when you think about it. I do. Now, I do feel bad that in a few weeks we're going to have to put Nebraska to sleep. It's not going to be pretty.
How bad is that going to be, man?
I mean, we could play with 0 running backs and still put up 50 on them. My God. Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? What Scott Frost reminds me of? You remember Tommy Boy, right?
Yeah.
You remember the scene where they're in the diner after he and
David Spade, they had the fight and everything.
Yeah.
And then like
the chicken
he's
wings.
talking to the waitress.
Right.
Yeah, the chicken wings. He's just like Scott Frost is like Chris Farley with the little biscuit or the little roll. And he's like I'm JoJo, the Indian circus boy with a pretty new pet in Nebraska. And I killed it. I killed Nebraska football. I don't think it's appropriate that Nebraska football is dying. I think it's appropriate Nebraska football is about to die the same year the Big 12 is. So it's not a coincidence if you ask me.
Yeah, that was rough to watch. That was bad.
So honestly, you feeling better about Saturday for Georgia? You feeling better?
I mean, I'm nervous heading into any game, so obviously I'm nervous for this one. I think it's going to be a really good game. I don't think Georgia's winning by 20. I don't think Clemson's winning by 20. I think both teams will have an opportunity to win the game in the fourth quarter. So maybe it's a 3-point game. Maybe it's a 3-point game and somebody scores late and makes it a 10-point game or something. But I think it'll be a competitive game into the fourth quarter. It's a hard game to pick, in my opinion. Clemson lost. Replacing Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. I mean, that's just not plug and play. There, it's just not. No. Plus, their 3 leading receivers. I know they get Justin Ross back and they've recruited well, but it just they lost a lot, and Georgia lost nothing. Now we've had a couple of injuries, but it's just I think it's going to be a great game, and I'm going with Georgia.
I know Clemson, they got that one QB who tore his Achilles back, apparently.
Yeah.
You hear about that?
Yeah, and that's good news. Now, I don't ever want anybody to get hurt, but if the ukulele would have gotten hurt, they would have had a walk-on playing. They'd have had their version of Stetson Bennett playing quarterback. Yeah. So I'm glad for Clemson that and for him personally that he's back. That sure does seem quick to come back from an Achilles, but hey. Listen, Dabo Swinney doesn't give a shit about injured players. I mean, he almost ruined Deshaun Watson's career before it ever started on the road at Syracuse. He sent Deshaun Watson out there on one leg, and they almost ripped him apart out there. It was inexcusable. He had a torn ACL, and he's got Deshaun Watson out there running for his life behind a terrible left tackle that couldn't block anybody. It was criminal what Dabo Swinney did to Deshaun Watson, and it's lucky he didn't cost him his career. Instead, Deshaun Watson cost his own self his career by letting a bunch of Instagram prostitutes stick their fist in his asshole.
If anyone on here is looking for an upset, I'm surprised no one's talking about Louisiana over Texas. That's the obvious one. That spread a week or two ago was 14 in favor of Texas. It dropped to 8.
Yeah, it got almost cut in half.
If you're looking for the potential upset, and with that Texas offensive line is trash, and they pick Hudson Card, who loves to hold on to the football. Last I heard, Texas might win that game, but if you want to cover, go for Louisiana.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll let you go. So,
all right, Owen, good to hear from you.
Good luck on Saturday.
Yeah, you too. Not that you'll need it. Playing Tulane at home. The Oklahoma-Tulane game was scheduled to be played in Tulane, but because of the hurricane, it's been moved to Norman, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a 31-point favorite. I'm taking Oklahoma and laying a 31. It's going to be a massacre, in my opinion. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou. This is Mike from Kentucky, man. How you doing?
Doing good. What's up, Mike?
Well, they are coming out of the woodwork tonight, brother. Best show I've seen of the off season.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I got to give credit to that Goombaya that thinks Dabo Swinney could be lured to go to Georgia.
Yeah.
I thought you were looking for a weapon, bro. Unbelievable. Hey, man, I'm a Bama fan. You know that. Convince me why Dabo Swinney wouldn't come if Mama calls him. He played for our national championship team at Alabama. He played for Gene Stallings.
Convince me why he would.
Well, I mean, I know he's got it good at Clemson. He's got it rolling, but man, it's a blood thing, man. Blood's thicker than water. I think he'll come to Bama, and I think he'll bring his whole staff with him. His whole staff is Alabama boys.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it was possible 5 years ago before Clemson won 2 natties, but I don't think it's happening now.
I don't know, man. I think you're wrong, but we can disagree to disagree. It's all right. Ain't no big deal. But I'm going to check the odds on FAU beating Florida. That guy may be on to something.
No,
Florida's at least 240 to 1.
Yeah, well, Florida's a 23.5 point favorite, and I think Florida will win by 40.
Yeah. All right, man. I do have a suggestion for Tennessee fans this year before the season. Hang yourselves.
Dang, man. All right, Mike. Thanks for the call, buddy. Jeez. Dang. We're heading into week 1. Mike from Kentucky, Alabama fan is in mid-season form. Told the Voltard to hang themselves. Jesus. Anything that the callers say is the caller's opinion and not the opinion of the host, which is me, Uncle Lou. I don't want anybody hanging themselves. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou. It's Lugnut Larry. How you doing?
Hey, Larry. I'm good. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. So I'm just calling tonight to tell you a couple things. And so I started watching your videos about 2017, right in there somewhere. And this is the first off season that I actually hung in and kept watching your channel. And I have to say, thank you so much for entertaining me throughout my mornings at work. I've just been addicted to your morning show, particularly you and BigTube, the Lou announcing. That's some entertaining morning talk radio right there, brother.
That's been a lot of fun to do, and thank you for listening too, because that morning show is really important to me, because it not so much in the off season. Well, it's important to me year round, but I start to get burned out every November and December of talking about nothing but football all the time. And so that's why I originally started the morning show, was to give me an outlet to where I didn't feel like I had to talk about football all the time. So I'm glad that people have that people have tuned in and are enjoying that morning show.
Oh yes, sir. That's been really enjoyable. So I live out in the Rocky Mountains, so I'm a couple hours behind you. So when I get to work, it's 6 in the morning. So I get my coffee and my work assignments, and that's about the time your show starts. So you get me through the first couple of hours of my day. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
And then, so the question I had was, I was watching your reaction after Florida lost to Oklahoma in the bowl game last year, and I remember your take on that. And I'm just curious, as like all the polls and the pundits on TV and everybody are so high on Florida, and I'm with you. I don't see where Florida is going to be that good this year. So, yeah, I was just wondering why are our opinions, mine and your opinions, so different from everybody else?
I'm not sure, because even if you forget the fact for a second that they lost their whole offense and their defense wasn't very good last year, for one, their schedule is harder. I mean, they have to play LSU again. They play Alabama. They play Georgia. They play an improved Kentucky and Missouri team. So, but then add to that the fact that they lost 90% of the production of their offense, including, I mean, statistically, it was the best offense they've ever had, period.
Right.
It was also statistically the worst defense they've had since World War II.
Correct.
They gave up, I think, I want to say they gave up 32 points a game. So I don't get it either. I don't get it either. Now, I don't think Florida is going to have one of those years like they've had a couple of times in the last 5 or 6 years where they come out and just completely fall flat on their face and go 4-8. I mean, they've got a couple of 4 and 5 win seasons over the last 5 or 6 years. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll win 8 or 9 games.
Well, plenty of talent, yeah.
But I don't see them being anywhere close to what they were last year.
I agree. All right, Lou. Well, I'll let you go, and I'll just say let's go Montana State Bobcats.
There you go. All right. Thank you for the call, buddy. It was good to hear from you. Thanks for taking the time to call in. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
You there, Uncle Lou?
Yep. I'm always here.
This is the Twisted Chicken. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Chicken?
I don't think that's going to happen.
I had to take a minute. I had to go drop a Tater man off and wipe my Dabo there in the ceramic bowl.
Yeah.
But do we need to take the helium out of some of these things or not? I think they've been sniffing a little too much helium.
Maybe. It's possible.
The Tennessee man that was on earlier, is he serious about his Tennessee fan? Because I want to get your view on this. Josh Heupel is known for high-speed offense, right?
Yeah, he's an offensive guy.
Yeah, like he runs these score every 2 to 3 minutes, whatever. Well, you got half a team. So what do you think, defensive-wise? How's the defense going to keep up with the offense or something like that when you lost half your players?
Well, that's the risk you run anytime you run one of those type of offenses. Is scoring quick is great, but when you do that and can't get a first down and you're putting your defense back out on the field every 2 minutes or so, that's where teams fall apart. Especially in Tennessee's case this year, I'm expecting them to have a really bad defense. So that's the risk you run by running one of those up-tempo offenses. I don't know if that's what he'll do at Tennessee. I have no idea, but that's the risk with running that type of an offense. When it doesn't work, it really puts a lot of stress on your defense, more than normal. You know, an average 3 and out can take 3 minutes off the clock, which is 6, 7, 8 minutes of actual time. One of these hurry up and go offenses can go 3 and out in 45 seconds. And then your defense is right back out on the field. That's the risk you run.
Yeah, and I feel the same. And you hear all this pump up, and everybody's got Florida. Florida's number 2. They're number 2 in the East. They're number 2 in the East. You got Emory Jones, and I've watched the past couple of years when they throw Emory Jones in here or there or wherever. I'm not that impressed. I mean, I don't know your opinion on the guy, but I mean,
I haven't been impressed with him as a passer. I haven't been impressed with him as a passer. He's way more athletic with his legs, especially than Kyle Trask was. And Dan Mullen does like that type of quarterback. So I don't think Dan Mullen is going to try to make Emory Jones be Kyle Trask. I think you'll see a totally different offense from Florida this year. I think they're going to be a lot more run heavy than what they have been the last couple of years, including with Emory Jones. They do have some running backs that return. And you add that to Emory Jones' ability to scramble or take off with the ball. I think their running numbers this year will be improved over what we've seen in the last couple of years. But overall, I think the total offensive production will be down a significant amount.
All right, that's a little up. Yeah, I'm not going to hold you up, but I'll let you get some more phone calls, and I enjoy your show, brother.
All right, thank you for taking the time to call in. It was good to hear from you. Tiger Baskins. Thank you for the Cash App. He says, shout out to Rhino26 and Battle Angel. Go Dogs. Thank you, TB. I appreciate you supporting the show. You're good people. William Jewell, thank you for hitting the super chat. He says, South Carolina recruits their players from Bishop Sycamore. That is just a strange story. I don't really have time to get into it now. If you guys haven't heard about this story, do it now or do it after the show or whatever. But I'm going to just Google this, what I just typed in the comments section. Google Bishop Sycamore. Waikiki, thank you for the super chat. He says, Dabo to UGA brings Brent Venables with him. Brent Venables brings his sons to play linebacker. Time to break out the bake sales and the 50-50 tickets. How about Tennessee doing buy one, get one tickets for their game against Bowling Green? If that ain't the saddest damn thing I've ever seen. Now, I remember a couple of years ago on StubHub, you could get Tennessee tickets for $6 a piece, and I thought that was hilarious. This might be even funnier. Students can get buy one, get one tickets to bring someone to the game with them because no one else wants to go. I mean, that's just hilarious to me. That's just hilarious to me. Dabo. Yabba dabba dabba. Yabba dabba doo. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Sorry.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Good morning. I was just calling about Minnesota. I was wondering about their schedule and their chances in the Big Ten West after most likely losing to Ohio State in a couple days.
All right, Minnesota schedule. 2021 Minnesota schedule. Ohio State, loss. Miami of Ohio, win. At Colorado, win. Bowling Green, win. At Purdue, win. They're 4-1. Bye week. Nebraska, at home, win. 5-1. Maryland, I think Maryland's going to beat a team or two this year they're not supposed to beat. Maybe it's Minnesota, maybe it's not. That's a toss-up game. At Northwestern, loss. Illinois, win. At Iowa, loss. At Indiana, toss-up. Home against Wisconsin, loss. So what is that, 8-4?
Yep, 8-7-3 with 2 toss-ups.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's say so they go 50-50 in those toss-up games, then that's 8-4. They could win 9. I don't think they're beating Ohio State. I don't think they're beating Wisconsin. At Iowa, I'm gonna count that as a loss. Then you have at Northwestern, at Indiana. Yeah, I would go with 8-4.
Yeah, I agree. They haven't beat Iowa at Iowa like 2001.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Which is concerning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alarming too.
Yeah. Yes, not good. But I think that Maryland game is not good. I'm really low on Maryland this year because they have a lot of outside talent, but Big Ten West teams with their line play, especially when it gets colder, you can look back last few years, like even teams in the Big Ten West, like Purdue and Illinois, those Eastern teams, when they have to go northwest to like Madison, Iowa, Minneapolis, when it gets cold in October, November, they tend to get beat up pretty bad. I think it's going to come down to if Indiana's a real team. I think they lose to Iowa, and then kind of like 2 years ago, you'll have that Minnesota and Wisconsin game come down to the Big Ten West. And
yeah,
I just want to know kind of if they lose that game, what's the next step? Or even if they finish second or third in the division, what's the next step then for PJ Fleck? Do you see him leaving in a few years, or is he stick around? What are your thoughts on that?
If I was PJ Fleck, I would leave. I just don't think Minnesota is a team that's ever capable of consistently being in the top 15 ever under any circumstances. And I think PJ Fleck is capable of coaching a top 15 program. But some people get attached. You know, Matt Campbell at Iowa State, Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern. PJ Fleck's had offers from Minnesota and turned them down. I believe he had an offer to go to the NFL this past offseason, and turned it down, and Minnesota gave him an extension and a raise. You know, I want to go, if I'm a coach, I want to go somewhere that gives me the best chance to win and win on a big stage. And I don't have any hate for Minnesota. I just don't feel like Minnesota. I feel like Minnesota's a lot like Iowa State. They can have a few good years, especially if they have a veteran team, but they just don't recruit at the level to consistently compete with, even if you want to just look at the Big Ten, Penn State, Ohio State, and Wisconsin. Never mind if you ever get past that, what's waiting after that, which would be your Alabamas, your LSUs, your Georgias, your Clemsons, your Oklahomas. So if I was a head coach, I would if it was the right opportunity, it would have to be a big step up. Obviously, I wouldn't leave Minnesota for Iowa State. I wouldn't leave Minnesota for Nebraska, but I would leave Minnesota for LSU or whatever. You know, any top 15 program.
Would you say that Minnesota's ceiling is next door neighbor Wisconsin, kind of being like a top 15 team, never really able to break through like a college football playoff or a national title contender?
I think any team is capable in a given year of winning its conference. And if that happens, then obviously depending on their record, they have a shot to get into the playoffs. It would be hard for me to imagine a scenario right now where Minnesota would ever win a playoff.
Okay. The last question, I'll let you go. Thank you. I just So would something have to change on a college football landscape level for, you can even just forget about Minnesota. I think a team like UCLA with its history, or even a Nebraska with former national championships in the 90s, what would it take for schools and kind of in that middle, maybe middle upper tier level in recruiting to, get over the hump and become a blue blood in today's day and age?
I think UCLA is closer right now than Nebraska is. Obviously, UCLA might be a pretty good team this year. And Chip Kelly, even though his offense is kind of gimmicky, he's proven that he can win 10, 11, 12 games a year, win conferences, make big bowl games, all that kind of stuff. So my confidence level would be a lot higher. And really, it wasn't all that long ago. Late 90s, early 2000s, UCLA was a top 5 team. I don't know how many people necessarily remember that. So it's not like in the case of Minnesota where they won a national title in the 20s or 30s or something. I mean, UCLA was a pretty good program in my lifetime. Nebraska was, for that matter. But UCLA has some built-in advantages that Nebraska doesn't have, like geography, recruiting, living in a part of the country that matters. Nebraska's in a tough spot recruiting wise. I mean, back when they were, Nebraska was great in the mid 90s. I think the 1995 Nebraska team might be the greatest college football team of all time, but it's going to be very, very hard for them to get back to that. Much easier for UCLA, in my opinion.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me. Thank you so much. Have a great night, Uncle.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for taking the time to call in. All right, no one else is on hold, so I'm going to turn the phones off. I appreciate everybody that took the time to call in. You guys are amazing. Great phone calls tonight. Brian Biak says, breaking NFLPA opens investigation on Urban Meyer. Not sure if real or trolling, but if real, duh. I mean, it's just a matter of time. The guy breaks rules and cheats everywhere he goes. The NFL will be no different. So I don't know if that's true or not, though. Fine Bum, thank you for the super chat. He says, I want this situation to play out. Undefeated Clemson, Ohio State, Iowa State, Cincinnati. One loss Oregon and Georgia as conference champs. Who gets in? If you remember 2007 season, we were minutes away from West Virginia versus Mizzou as a championship game. Yeah, a little bit different back then because you only had the 2 teams. Now you have the 4. Okay, first of all, an undefeated Clemson gets in because they would have a win over what you're saying would be a 1-loss SEC champ Georgia. So Clemson in. OSU, if that's Ohio State, if they're undefeated, they're in. Those 2 teams are in. That leaves you with an undefeated Iowa State, an undefeated Cincinnati, a 1-loss Oregon, and a 1-loss Georgia. Georgia would have the advantage over Oregon. So let's just get rid of Oregon because of the 2 1-loss teams. A 1-loss SEC champ is going to be ranked ahead of a 1-loss Pac-12 champ, period, end of story. Never mind the fact that in your scenario here, Georgia's only loss is to an undefeated Clemson way back in what would have been week 1. So Clemson's in, Ohio State's in, Oregon's out. That leaves us with an undefeated Iowa State, an undefeated Cincinnati, and a 1-loss Georgia. 2 of those 3 get in. Probably would be Iowa State and Georgia, in my opinion. I do think an undefeated Cincinnati this year has a chance to get in, but not in this particular scenario. I don't think Cincinnati would need to overcome, in your scenario, a 1-loss SEC champ. I don't think that would happen. I think Cincinnati could jump ahead of a 1-loss Pac-12 champ or a 1-loss Big 12 champ. But in your scenario, that's not the case. The Big 12 champ is undefeated. So I hope that made sense. That's about the best I can do to try to explain that, I think. But that's my opinion on the matter. For what it's worth, which probably ain't much. A country hoot or a holler, maybe, though. Rhino, thank you for the generous PayPal, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. He says, shout out to Tiger Baskins and Battle Angel. Go Dogs this weekend until they play OU. You know, a lot of people, not just Georgia and Oklahoma fans, there's a lot of people who are talking about a potential Georgia-Oklahoma matchup at the end of this season or in the playoffs or in a major bowl game or something. It obviously would have a lot of intrigue because of the 2017 Rose Bowl and what a great game it was. I would love to see that game too. It would be a good one. Be a real good one. Thank you, Rhino, for your constant support, sir. I really do appreciate that. Slim Shady Canes, thank you for hitting the PayPal. He says, by the way, suck nuts. Let's see Ryan Day win something without being handed a playoff-ready team and a first-rounder at QB before we label him an elite coach. Throwing shade at Ryan Day. My only pushback on that would be, and I agree, Slim, with your premise that, he did inherit what he inherited. There's no arguing that. However, it really hasn't seemed to matter who the Ohio State quarterback is. They seem to put up 4,500 yards a year with their eyes closed. I mean, they won a national championship with a third-string quarterback, and they've been running that same offense for years and years and years, going back to Urban Meyer. I do have some questions about Ohio State just because the quarterback is such an important position, and we've never seen C.J. Stroud play before. But, man, it's hard not to give Ohio State the benefit of the doubt when it comes to QB play. When you look at the numbers that their QBs have put up pretty much every year for the last 7 or 8 years. Thank you for the PayPal, sir. You're good people. You're good people. Yeah. To Neil, I'm not letting the guy who knows do anything with me. I'm having anxiety. Y'all, who's bothering Tennille? Leave Tennille alone. What are y'all doing? Harassing folk in my comment section. UJ will lose to South Carolina, and OU will lose to Kansas State. Jesus, Bobby, did you type that with a straight face? Blake Robinson, thank you for the super chat. He says, C-. 4 days, Lou. Anxiety waiting. Have a good one, Lou, and keep being awesome. Thank you, Blake. You keep being awesome, too, sir. Thank you for supporting the show tonight with the super chat. Hope you enjoyed the show. You still roll your socks, Lou? Worried about you. You want to see what Uncle Lou does with his socks? Hold on 1 second. Listen, my sock game is 1 million. Now, I don't know why anybody would try to clown me, of all people, on socks. First of all, and I've said this before, maybe it was just on the morning show. I don't know if I ever said it on the night show. Uncle Lou is in a sock club, okay? I'm in a sock club. Every month, for no reason, I go to my mailbox, and there's 2 brand new pair of socks in there. These are the most recent ones here. Uncle Lou's sock game is on fleek. It's 1 million. And here's how Uncle Lou keeps his socks. Yes, rolled up in a sock holder, a sock organizer, if you will. And I've got a bunch of them. Okay, I brought 2 in here because that's what I could carry. Uncle Lou's sock game is 1 million. And I'd much rather you spent your time in the comment section trashing my Georgia Bulldogs or my grandmother's garage then I would have to sit here and listen to one word you type or read one word you type about my sock game, lady. Do we understand each other? Alejandro says, Lou, socks aren't that serious. Well, you're a Florida fan, sir. I mean, you wear Crocs with tube socks. We know socks aren't that serious to you. So, I mean, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Well, nothing. That's what we're going to do. My socks are, listen, Uncle Lou's socks, I put anybody to shame. No one wants to go to a sock war with me. Okay? I'm undefeated in the battle of the socks. That's just the way it is. People in here clowning my socks in the comment section. I swear I ought to reach through my keyboard and... Nerve of these people. The outright nerve of these people. Is alarming. And I don't mind saying, a little irritating, too. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. Great show tonight. So glad that football season is back. These call-in shows are going to be amazing for the next 3 months. Hope you guys will keep tuning in. If you tried to call in tonight and weren't able to get through, I'll be back on Thursday night at around the same time. I'm going to try to start earlier on Thursday because the Ohio State game will be on and the Tennessee game will be on. My son I wanted to start it at 7:30 when those games come on, but my son has soccer practice on Thursday, and it's probably the earliest that I can start the stream is going to be 9, maybe a little before 9. But I'm going to start it as soon as I can. I'll start the show. I'll talk about the games. They'll probably be about halftime or late in the second quarter by the time I go live. And then we'll turn the phones on a little bit later and take some phone calls, and we can talk about the Tennessee and the Ohio State game, or we can talk about the other games coming up this weekend, just whatever you guys want to talk about. So that'll be Thursday. I really appreciate everybody that helped support the show tonight, whether that meant, being active in the comment section, hitting the thumbs up. Of course, the Super Chats and the PayPals, I mean, those mean the world to me. That's what keeps these live shows on the air. So thank you to everybody that chose to support the show that way. Slim Shady, Michael Vick, Zach Fluharty, Jonah, Mike Estes, Dylan Deloney, Texas T-Sip Central, Coach Coop, Mike Estes, Brian Byack, Ethan Hewlett, Pizza Fest, Exploring with Ben, Twisted Chicken, Tom Smith, Brian Byack, Waikiki, William Jewell, Fine Bum, and Blake Robinson. And over on the PayPal, we had Rhino26, Slim Shady Canes, Chase C, and Mountaineer Mike. I really, really appreciate you guys choosing to support me in this call-in show and what I'm trying to do here. It means the world to me. I hope to see y'all back Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I don't have any live shows on Wednesdays, but do have some good news. Now that the season has started, that means I can get back to my sort of normal season routine. I'm gonna have a couple of team season predictions out tomorrow, like I've been doing. But then I'm also gonna have a prediction video for this weekend's games, and tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and every Wednesday during the course of the season is gonna be Superfan Day. So there will be a Superfan video tomorrow, and the Superfan is going to predict some of this weekend's biggest games. Don't know yet which Superfan it's going to be. It'll be one of them. 90 Proofer Luther, White Tonto, Bob DeBarner, Natty Back Steve, Philip Huang, Tectard III. It will not be General Valtard. He's deceased, and he's not coming back from the dead until Tennessee beats either Florida, Georgia, or Alabama. So that's what you have to look forward to tomorrow, even though I don't have any live shows. I have 3 videos uploaded for you. 2 team predictions for the season, and then a Superfan video predicting some of this weekend's biggest games. All right, I'll be back on Thursday night for the call-in show. Thursday morning for the morning show. 3 uploaded videos tomorrow. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day.